Layla Richardson, that is KillSwitch, the character in front of you. Hello everyone, welcome back to another playtime. This video is long overdue. Like I said earlier today in my short that I made, asking your thoughts on a future Steel Brigade figure using the bigger buck that Action Force has created and shown off. I also talked about my lack of motivation for making YouTube videos. I think what happened was I had made a lot at once on a few occasions every time I received a new shipment, and then I kind of got busy with work and relationships not working out and other things like that, personal life, and kind of lost track of YouTube for a little bit. And I've thought about making them, but I just have been lazy. So enough excuses. We're doing it now. Just like I didn't want to wake up and do laundry or anything else today, but I'm doing all that too. You just kind of gotta get through it one way or another. This is KillSwitch. Like I said, her real name being Layla Richardson. I will show you the back of the box. But let's just appreciate my misconception real quick with her color scheme. Being that she looks a lot like one of the bad guys in the line. I'm not going to cut the video and try to think of the name, but you know what I'm talking about. With the gray and the red, cavalry. Every time I think of cavalry, I can't say it right. And I also couldn't even think of it at first. So there you go. She looks like a cavalry member, but of course you can see the Action Force logo on her chest. I like her weapons assortment. She is another figure in Series 3, so she has that packaging that I'm not a fan of, and I hope they don't continue. It's not the end of the world if they do continue it, but I don't like it. The tape and the twist ties, man, these are the worst twist ties I've ever dealt with. They are so difficult to get out for me, and I don't know why. But anyways, her head, her alternate head, is another one of those kind of like blowbacks or some of the other figures where you can just kit bash with it. And that's how I look at it as. Instead of having an alternate head for the character to use, I kind of look at it as a completely different random goon's head. Because I like to have my core figures displayed with their face showing, because I appreciate the character more when you can see their entire face, unless they're supposed to have a mask and not a face. Unless I have two of them. But enough being said, here's the top of the box that you guys have seen a bunch. The bottom of the box that you guys have seen a bunch. Of course, since it's Series 3, you get the Series 3 color scheme and Series 3 box. You get Action Force on one side, and you get the photo and KillSwitch is number 3 of Series 3. Of course, we have the teal fade to white naming. Interesting choice that the rest of the box is red, but we have like a teal gradient there. And she is in her cartoon style artwork there that the rest of the line has. And the only way I knew she was Action Force originally was because of this symbol right here is not on Pandora, but it's on every other figure in the Action Force team that I've seen so far. So I'm going to go ahead and open her up and do what I normally do. Right after I show you the most important part of the package, the back of the box with the file card that I was mentioning. Essentially, if you don't want to read this, she grew up being a swimmer, chose to go through SEAL training but not pursue it, and become an EOD specialist. You did get your 2 Action Force points, or action points there, that will be coming in handy very soon, hopefully. I am getting a little antsy about the spring update because I know it's going to kill my wallet. I know you guys are too. But at least we know that if you have the action points, enough of them anyways, that's one thing you can save some money on because you've already paid for the action points themselves, every figure you buy. the bottom of the box, you get the rest of your usual Valiver stuff. Before I get her completely opened up, because I don't really want to spend too much time on this figure, because I'm not sure that I love this one. Here's a closer look at her accessories, so I don't have to take them individually out and show you guys separately like I normally do. She comes with a great assortment of weapons, the same number of everything that all of the other figures come with, which for a military line is nice to have uniformity, but we haven't got any deluxe figures, so I don't know what to say about that. Like, I would like to see some deluxe versions of figures, and I believe that's coming at some point, with alternate accessories or different like version 2s of characters, outfits, and things like that maybe. But for now, we just get the normal 3 weapons. We get 3 of the ammo. Oh gosh, I can't think. Magazines. Thank you. I'm having a weird moment trying to record today, it seems. We get the alternate head, which I can appreciate the alternate head because most core figures, and I believe all core figures, should come with an alternate head. We don't get an alternate head for every core figure. Desert Rat doesn't come with one. Trigger doesn't come with one. So I know a lot of others don't come with one. But when we get them, like with Blowback, I can't think of who else I own at the moment that has an alternate head besides Eclipse. And, of course, now KillSwitch. Excuse me. I'm pretty happy that we have an alternate head, even if it is just the Balaclava that is a repaint of the Republic Guard's head. I would have liked to see maybe an alternate facial expression or something like that. If it were my sort of wish fulfilled, I would say I would like to have 2 or 3 heads, the one being on the figure, the alternate masked head, and then maybe 1 or 2 alternate facial expressions. So far, most of the figures in the line, with the exception of Dusty, I forgot his name already, Tim Kennedy, has this sort of basic, and I have Tony here just to show you the most basic meh face ever. But anyways, she comes with 3 weapons, like I said, the normal amount of hands, the same stand we get with every figure. I would have liked to see her stand be like a sort of color match to her shirt, or like a dark burgundy. That would have been awesome. But oh well. We get the same MX-9, which at least it's painted. That's all I'm going to say about it. You guys know I don't really care for it, but if it's going to be in there, at least it's painted. I like that a lot. We get the same knife that comes with most figures with a painted blade right there. And she comes with what looks to be a G36 or maybe an LMG version of an HK that I can't think of the name of at the moment, with 3 magazines to swap between the 2 weapons. A sniper, which I have no idea if that's even a sniper. It kind of looks like an Asval now. Or a Dragunov. You guys are going to have to let me know down below. I don't know weapons for anything. But it looks like it comes with... Actually, never mind. The weapon, or the magazines, are only for the assault rifle, or whatever. And the other rifle has a 10-round fixed mag, it looks like, that is not removable, which is kind of sad, but I can understand why that would not be removable. That's enough rambling. You guys are tired of it, I know. I'm going to go ahead and open her up. If you guys didn't know, what I hate about these ties is they're hard to pull on one side. It's great for retail if you're trying to do, you know, anti-theft, but for a figure that I'm getting in the mail, I don't want to have to fight to open it up. I liked the way it was before, where they were just kind of hugged in the package. Now it's like he's trying to use less plastic, which I guess is understandable with all the plastic crap going on now. But I don't like it. I've never been a fan of it. Even as a kid, when I would get new toys and I would have to take the tape off the weapons, I hated it. Twist ties suck. Well, these aren't even twist ties. these you can try to twist, and then I usually just cut that off. Lucky for you, I can just do this. And that was probably like 20 minutes in real time. Kind of annoying. This time on the packaging, instead of cutting it, I just burned it, and that worked a whole lot better. I have an electric lighter, so the flame doesn't really go anywhere. And yeah, that worked a lot better. So, I tried to finesse with a stand to get her into a running pose, but it turns out my old S8 figure art stands that I really only have like 1.5, don't really work too well with these guys, so I hope that Action Force gets some dynamic stands in the future, because what's the point of this highly articulated figure that can do great running poses, comical things, without a stand to display them on? Now, you could play around and balance the figure, but I'm not great at that, so we're not going to do that. But I just wanted to put her in a sort of running pose to show off some of that great articulation that we get with all of the Action Force line. Now, a couple things to note about this figure and the Series 3 females in general is they do feel like they have less plastic in them, like they're made of less plastic, so they feel a little weightless, and that could be a problem with getting them to stand. And with this figure, I'm having the same problem I'm having on Eclipse with the wrist when I try to swap them out, so I didn't even bother to swap them this time. The wrist pegs are way too tight, and I feel like I'm going to break them, and I probably am, because I can see the plastic stressing, so I just gave up. I didn't completely kit her out. I honestly forgot to put the magazines in there, but you guys have seen what that looks like before on the other female figures. So yeah, this is Eclipse, this is KillSwitch, and I wanted to show her off with this head, because this head is incredibly tight. I had problems getting it on, so I probably could have heated up the head itself and then popped it on, and maybe that would have fixed it. But also, the gray looks quite nice, and that is the same vest used on the other figures in the wave, which has the same scratches and black instead of gray or that tan color that Eclipse has. And so yeah, great for kit bashing if you want to do some custom female cavalry figures until we get some females to go with those guys. You could probably just wipe away, I'm sure some kind of way you can get rid of that Action Force logo, and if you leave her like this, you don't even need to have the cavalry mask. You can just use her like this as a cavalry figure. Now, if you have some extra cavalry mask, I'm sure they would fit on, because the normal helmets fit females and males, so you should be able to just slide that over and have your cavalry figure, and maybe you can custom paint it and all that. The only thing I wish that the new figures in the Action Force had would be a nice black wash, but that would raise costs, so we're not going to do that. She looks great. I don't know what to say about her other than that. She looks great. She has all the same problems and all the same benefits that the rest of Action Force has. And before I forget, the last thing I wanted to note is I noticed that the females don't have any shoulder or elbow pads, so I guess women get less armor now, apparently. I do like the look of the gray pants, and I kind of want to kit bash myself, but I only have one of these guys, or one of this figure, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to afford more. But for now, I want to get one of every figure in the line, which probably won't happen because of the exclusives and all that. But hopefully 2 of every figure in the line, at least. So that would be nice. The end game for Action Force would be able to, for me, would be able to get 2 of every figure in this wave. and you can fit a muzzle flash in there if you want to. I don't have one on me to show you though, so I don't know. It's Action Force. It's my newfound addiction, my newfound credit card debt. I don't know what to say. Here is a close look at the head sculpt that she came with. This could probably be reused. The head itself, you could probably, since I'm sure the hair is separate from the face and the actual head itself, you could probably swap the hair with other types of hair, and this may be the same head they use for Pandora, just different skin tone and tooling. I'm not too sure. I don't have any clips close by to show you right now, so I left it in the other room. But yeah, so she doesn't look too derpy, although she's looking kind of side-eyed, almost like how I have this head where she's looking off to the side. This one is a little bit more straighter, but the eyes look a little more off to me. Here's a side by side. They don't really look like the same person. And I feel like maybe the lighting, but the skin tone being shiny on the masthead and a little bit lighter of a brown does kind of make it look even more like a different person. But it is what it is, and I can't really complain too much. The other gripe I have on female figures, is it just me and my OCD, or is it bothering you guys that the shin guards on the boots are not completely straight with the leg? Like, it's kind of turned in like that rather than straight. And I thought I could just turn it, but I can't. It's actually sculpted sort of in, because the boot at the bottom here, you can't quite, it's too far this way and the pad is too far to the right. So it's kind of like, it's bothering the crap out of me. That could just be me though. Anyways, that's enough. 20 minutes. It's about an average for my Action Force reviews. I'm going to open my Pandora and then I'm going to do that review for you guys as well. Now, final thoughts on KillSwitch is I like her weapons. I like her color scheme. As with all the figures, I like the ability to kit bash her. Now, I still reside by my idea of, instead of having to buy an entire figure, if you could just buy torsos or legs or heads and have like a create your own figure thing on the Valverse site, I think that would be the best way to go about kit bashing from this line, because I don't want to buy another KillSwitch when I just want to use the parts of the torso or just the legs to put on a completely different figure. So I'm not going to talk about that all day. I went into more detail about that on, I believe, the Steel Brigade video that I did on Series 3. So once again, here is Desert Rat for size comparison. Of course, he is a little taller because the male body mold is a little taller, even though the women seem to have longer legs. It looks like, at least to me, they might be the same height, but the skinniness of them makes them look a little longer. And here is, just because I have her close by, the Spec Ops Republic Guard kneeling down, so you can see that. If you've seen other size comparisons with Action Force or watched any of my other reviews, you know at the moment we don't have a different body mold. So you have the male body mold and you have the female body mold, and then you have the head. So the only height difference between any of these figures, which is highly unrealistic, but who cares, is that simplistic head sculpt. So if you have a bald character, kind of like Tony, or that masthead, then they're going to be the same height if they're both male or both female. Now here is Blowback, one of my favorite figures, maybe because he was my second figure in the line, but I do like him a lot, and I know he's highly sought after right now with the classified Falcon situation or whatever is going on over there that I'm not paying attention to. But that is a male kneeling, a male standing, a female and then female kneeling for your size comparisons. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and record the next video for you guys. You guys can leave a like rating, a comment below, whatever you want to do, and hopefully you will subscribe for more.